Bereshit, chapter
38.
And it came to pass at that time, that Yehuda went down from his brothers, and turned into a certain Adulamite, whose name was Hira. And Yehuda saw there a daughter of a certain Kenarite whose name was Shua, and he took her, and went in unto her. And she conceived and bore a son, and he called his name And she conceived again and bore a son, and she called his name Onan. And she yet again bore a son and called his name Shalocht. And he was at Keziv, when she bore him. And Yehuda took a wife for his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. And Yehuda's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of YHWH, and YHWH slew him. And Yehuda said unto Onan, Go in unto your brother's wife, and perform the duty of a husband's brother unto her, and raise up seed to your brother. And Onan knew that the seed would not be his. And it came to pass when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the earth, lest he should give seed to his brother. And the thing which he did was evil in the sight of YHWH, and he slew him also. Then said Yehuda to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, Remain a widow in your father's house, till Shalocht my son be grown up. For, he said, lest he also die like his brothers. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. And in process of time, Shua's daughter, the wife of Yehuda, died. And Yehuda was comforted, and went up unto his sheep shearers to Timnah, he and his friend Hira, the Adulamite. And it was told Tamar, saying, Behold, your father-in-law goes up to Timnah to shear his sheep. And she put off from her the garments of her widowhood, and covered herself with her veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in the entrance of Anaim, which is by the way to Timnah. For she saw that Shalocht was grown up, and she was not given unto him to wife. When Yehuda saw her, he thought her to be a harlot, for she had covered her face. And he turned unto her by the way, and said, Come, I pray you, let me come in unto you, for he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. And she said, What will you give me, that you may come in unto me? And he said, I will send you a kid of the goats, from the flock. And she said, Will you give me a pledge, till you send it? And he said, What pledge shall I give you? And she said, Your signet and your cord, and your staff that is in your hand. And he gave them to her, and came in unto her, and she conceived by him. And she arose and went away, and put off her veil from her, and put on the garments of her widowhood. And Yehuda sent the kid of the goats, by the hand of his friend, the Adulamite, to receive the pledge from the woman's hand, but he found her not. Then he asked the men of her place, saying, Where is the harlot that was at Anaim, by the wayside? And they said, There has been no harlot here. And he returned to Yehuda, and said, I have not found her. And also the men of the place said, There has been no harlot here. And Yehuda said, Let her take it, lest we be put to shame. Behold, I sent this kid, and you have not found her. And it came to pass about 3 months after, that it was told Yehuda, saying, Tamar, your daughter-in-law has played the harlot, and moreover behold, she is with child by harlotry. And Yehuda said, Bring her forth, and let her be burnt. When she was brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, By the man whose these are, am I with child? And she said, Discern, I pray you, whose are these, the signet, and the cords, and the staff. And Yehuda acknowledged them, and said, She is more righteous than I, forasmuch as I gave her not to Shalocht my son. And he knew her again no more. And it came to pass in the time of her travail, that behold, twins were in her womb. And it came to pass, when she travailed, that one put out a hand, and the midwife took and bound upon his hand a scarlet thread, saying, This came out first. And it came to pass, as he drew back his hand, that behold, his brother came out. And she said, Wherefore have you made a breach for yourself? Therefore his name was called Peretz. And afterward came out his brother, that had the scarlet thread upon his hand, and his name was called Zerogt.